Hi, it's Mark from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with the famous Mr. Bernie Pollock of Pollock Automotive in Vancouver. They're Vancouver's best auto service experience and 16-time winners of Best Auto Repair in Vancouver. How are you doing today, Bernie?
Doing well.
So we're talking about Toyota brakes today. So what types of brakes do Toyotas use?
Toyotas use generally disc brakes most of the time, but they do use drum brakes some of the time. Most of the disc brakes are of the floating design caliper, one or two pistons depending on the size of the vehicle and maybe the performance options on the vehicle. If it's a higher performing model, they'll use a two-piston caliper, and a sort of lower end, maybe a Corolla or Echo, Yaris, I should say. Change models around a bit. They'll use more of a single piston design.
Do they ever use drum brakes on the rear?
Oh yeah, they'll use drum brakes on the rear on many models. Usually found in the lower end models, like the lower end Corollas, and the Yaris as well. Some trucks also.
Oh, so that was my next question. Do Toyota trucks use the same brakes as the cars?
It varies from truck model to truck model, but generally Toyota trucks have used a pretty robust brake system. I mentioned earlier on a Honda hangout we did about Honda not really having a truck line, but Toyotas do make real trucks. They've had a line of small trucks and large trucks for quite a long time, and their brakes in the trucks are really well built, very robust. A lot of them use a fixed caliper with 4 pistons. Really gives a really strong braking application, and on the rear they use either disc brakes on the newer models, or older models use drum brakes, but they generally use a very large drum brake, and some of these would last a very long time. Very durable brake.
So speaking of brake life, how long can I expect Toyota brakes to last?
Well, that varies from model to model. As I often say, it depends on whether you have a standard or an automatic transmission. With a standard transmission, your brakes will last much longer than an automatic. And the other thing, of course, the other drive system you'll find on Toyotas, which is common, is the hybrid drive system, especially on the Prius model. So that affects your brake life in a different way as well.
So aren't the brakes on all the different kinds of Prius, now that there's many, supposed to last for a long time?
They are. That's one of the advantages of a Prius, is the brakes last a long time. And it's also why taxi cab companies like the Prius, because I mean, taxis, they're driving day in and day out. And I think, I mean, I've never really serviced taxis before, and I understand a lot of non-hybrid taxis that their brakes would wear out in a month. They use them that much. So hybrids, they'll actually get like 6 months or maybe a year out of a set of brakes, which for a taxi is a huge advantage. Much less service. But for the average consumer who's not driving, thousands of kilometers in a week, the brakes in a Prius will last a very long time. You think it lasts a couple 100,000 kilometers. So that's definitely an advantage.
Is there anything different? I guess the regenerative brakes. So there's some sort of electric motor in there in the wheel hub, and is that what helps with slowing down, so the calipers and the discs don't have to work as hard?
Actually, there's no motor on a Prius. There's no motor in the wheel hub. Only regenerative braking takes place in the transmission unit. Yeah, but out in the wheels on a Prius, they basically look just like a Corolla or a Yaris. That type of design. It's just a regular car out at the wheel end of the vehicle.
So what's brake servicing? What does that entail?
Brake servicing basically entails taking your brakes apart on a routine basis. You basically take the brake caliper off, you remove the pads, you take the caliper bracket off, and you clean the. It's basically a very thorough cleaning. We have a sandblasting machine in our shop, so we actually take the caliper bracket, we sandblast all the corrosion out of the groove where the brake pads sit, and the pad slider we call it. And that makes a big difference in terms of life of the brake pads. Eventually corrosion builds up in that area, and it causes the brake pads to stick, and shortens the life of the brake pads. So routine servicing, which should be done every 2-3 years, 24,000 kilometer type basis, will ensure your brake pads last a long time, and you've got like 100% performance in the brakes. They're always performing top notch.
Is there anything else we should know about Toyota brakes?
The only thing, just routine brake inspections. I say this every time. Have your brakes inspected every year. It depends on how much you drive, of course. If you're like a taxi, you'll need it done a little more often. But for an average driver, about once a year, every year and a half, have a brake inspection done. See where the brakes are at. Service them routinely. Brake fluid needs to be flushed every 2 to 3 years as well. So these are the things you need to do. But other than that, with Toyota brakes and any other car, it's just a matter of looking at them, just seeing where they're at.
So when we get Uber here, and if you're an Uber driver, you're going to need to get your brakes serviced more often.
Absolutely. If you're driving more, you need them done more.
So if you're in Vancouver, the guys to call to service your vehicle are Pollock Automotive. You can reach them at 604-327-7112 to book an appointment, or check out their website, pollockautomotive.com. Tons of information on there. Remember, they're 16-time winners of Best Auto Repair in Vancouver, as voted by their customers. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark. Talk to you again soon.